Yo. Welcome back to another episode of Perspectives with Big Bro. I'm your host, comedian Lonnie.
And I'm the Flash.
How you feeling, black man?
I am good. We got somebody.
We got a special guest in the building today. We have a special guest in the building today. Can you tell the folks who we got in the building?
Hey, man. Hey, I call him Dr. Joe. You know what I'm saying? He said he don't be wanting to say everything else. You know what I'm saying? He said he don't be wanting no first name, last name. He just said he just I know him. You know what I'm saying? Now, I met him a couple of years ago. He's one of my cousins, close friends and colleagues and frat brothers. Mm-hmm. You know, we just got to rapping. You know what I'm saying? We got our relationship together. And, you know, I was telling him we were doing the podcast thing. He's like, no, I'm finishing up, man. So I'm doing my therapist thing. I'm finishing up now. I'll be graduating a couple of months. And then at the time, it was a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Then it was a couple of months. Then when he graduated, he was like this. I'm tapping in. I'm doing some residency stuff. Then when he finished doing all that, he's like, I'm ready. So when he called and said he ready, I'm like this. You ready? We ready. So, Dr. Joe.
What's going on, fellas? Thank you.
Hey, man, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it, and it's good to have your perspective on here. I know as a therapist, everybody in society say we as black people need therapy, men, women, and all that. So we gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Now we got one.
Yeah. What y'all gonna say now? You know what I'm saying? It's something else now.
What's up now? You know what I'm saying?
So how do you feel like the state of black culture, as far as I know, dating is the big topic nowadays, and we gonna get into some other stuff too. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We gonna get into some other stuff too. But just like, how do you perceive today in society in the black culture space as far as
we all have been raised different, and so we all have different realities. Mm-hmm. And as a therapist, you know, trying to navigate other people's upbringing, their traumas, is difficult, man. It's difficult. It keeps you on your toes, but I definitely enjoy it. It's fun.
Okay. Are there any things that you like kind of seeing right now that you like, whether it be a lot of people coming from broken homes or people just trauma dumping or people just whatever it may be, is there particular things that you're seeing in?
It's the same thing. Everybody wants to be happy. But a lot of us don't want to make the sacrifices necessary to become happy. Mm-hmm. And it takes some sacrifice upon you or some accountability from you to be happy.
You hit one of them buzzwords, that accountability word. I don't know, whenever that word come out, it get a little tricky. Yeah. And people seem to really not really understand what. Can you maybe break that down for us, what accountability actually is? Let's start there.
Man, accountability is taking ownership for the decisions that you've made. I've had people literally tell me, we get to the point where we're at the fork in the road. Mm-hmm. And you know they should say yes. Like, yes, this is a lie. You caught me. No, they'll still go into the lie and say, no, I didn't do it. I'm like, but you just said that. You know, I know that is wrong.
And quick question.
What's up?
Most people who come to the fork in the road who don't want to tell the truth, what is their sex?
It's actually both, man. It's actually both, man. I can't say one or the other. I know we want to put it I want to put it against each other, but everybody, it's something that we all don't want to take credit for. You know what I'm saying? And that's just being real.
Yeah. And I know, and this is just, I'm literally doing this just for like informational purposes, but the term narcissist, I feel like this is one of those free-flowing words we just use and throw out, and we just kind of casually do it as if we know what we're referring to and talking about.
And we don't.
Exactly. So to hear from your side.
The narcissist, a lot of us have traits. People want to label just, somebody has these narcissistic traits, which is okay. Because being a narcissist, you have to be diagnosed. There's a criteria. You have to check certain boxes. It has to be a certain time frame. Like, you just can't throw out, just words.
4 years ago, he did this. And 2 years ago, she did this.
Yeah, man. And that's what it is. Having those diagnoses, it's a lot of the time. There's a lot of boxes that need to be checked for us to say that you're clinically a narcissist, and there are some clinical.
Yeah, you can't self-diagnose yourself.
Yeah. It's we good. I got the other audio back up. We good. Okay. So, and it's kind of crazy because in my journeys, I have seen a lot of women. They seem to do a lot of research on the narcissists. Like the other day, they were able to break down to me. Oh, it's this type of narcissist, overt and unvert, and like, and I'm sitting here like, you got all this knowledge on a narcissist, but like, what else you bringing to the table? Do you know, like, what else can you like help me do something that like?
Ain't none of y'all got no piece of paper. Ain't
I'm just
none of y'all
like,
got no piece of paper.
I'm like, why the negative stuff y'all so?
And that's what it is. It's ammunition, something to discredit somebody during the conversation. Yeah. As soon as you bring up narcissist, oh, okay, here we go again, right? It changes the whole dynamic of a conversation. So if I know how to change the narrative and how to define it, you're gonna win.
Yeah. I'm just getting on y'all because we got a therapist in the building, okay? You know what I'm saying? Y'all think we just be saying stuff sometimes. So
because when me and him talk personally, like I've researched what a narcissist is, and most of the traits are not male traits. It's like, I mean, even though males have a part of those traits, hypothetically, because we both have the traits, but most of the traits, the compounded traits, are not male traits.
Society doesn't allow us not to take accountability for nothing.
Yeah.
So like,
so it's almost impossible for us to actually be this person, because if we don't do this, the loss is never in our favor. And the crazy thing about it was, once we start making these laws be equal, we all fall for equality. It's the craziest thing in the world. Even on our thing about the 40,000, right? And I hear women, oh yeah, because I make so much money. Well, the reason why once upon a time you couldn't make that much money, your job was to be in the home. So now, when you said, hey, I don't want to be in the home anymore. I don't want to be in the home 100% of the time. I want to be in the home 50% of the time. And the other 50%, I want to be working. But that working means it brings an income. And if it brings an income, that means when you bring it back home, that's a part of the collective home income. So that means if everything's 100 here, 100 there, if you spend 50 outside the home, that means you're working. That means I got to spend 50 inside the home. So therefore, our 50 this way is home. Our 50 this way is home. So this 50 here, we have to contribute.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'd rather go 100 by myself, but I'm not going 50 with you.
Yeah. I tell most of my clients, it's whatever you do in your home, right? Stop trying to amount to society and what society says. That may not work for you. We'll start off 50-50. And, again, that's the foundational route, right? Let's go half and half. Basically what you said. But then if you're getting promoted and things of that nature, you may change it up. Now let's go 60-40. I got it. Now I feel like a man. Yeah,
so because now I got a raise, so that causes me to have to be at work more. So I can't pick up the kids when you can pick them up. So now, but also when you get a raise,
your responsibility may shift.
And I don't have a raise. The responsibility is going to shift. So that's why people say you bring 50-50 to the table. No, you're bringing 100-100. You got to be whole, your whole self. The problem is you got to bring your best whole self to the table. Yeah. And most people are not their whole self. Most people look for someone across the table to complete them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there a certain age range in which you like to keep your clients? You know what I'm saying?
I am adolescents and adults.
Okay.
I really enjoy adolescents. Adults, man.
I can only imagine it being a whole nother headache because you got a person who's established and set in their ways, whereas a kid you can kind of course correct a little better.
Yeah, and with the kids, they're logical. If you make sense and you can add it up, 1 + 1 = 2, and they're like, oh, okay, because they'll try it
because they've been taught that. That's why, like people like Dr. Umar Johnson say stuff like, well, the old people, they done for. The problem is the youth. And that's why, all the stuff that's going on in the universe is attacking the youth. Yeah. Because my idealisms are far-fetched. The goal are incorrect, or however you want to do it. Now the goal is to make the little person believe what I want him to believe. Like, never in life is 1 + 1 3. It's 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't tell kids that it's raining outside and it's not raining.
Yeah.
But you can tell adults to call somebody something that clearly they not that. But I'm gonna be mad at you because you're not calling me the thing that I want you to call me because that's what I think I am.
Yeah. Again, another slippery slope, man. And the hardest part is, as a therapist, taking your biases out, because that's their life, right? That's the decision that they're making, and you're helping them. So no matter if I agree with it or not, and again, if that's the demographic that I'm working with, you have to put in the work.
Okay, so that's cool. That's sort of like the thing now with the Tyrese and the Brian McKnight thing. And the thing is, Tyrese just kind of surfacely said, hey, this could be going on. And now the kids are grown kids. Mm-hmm. So this may have happened. Not saying for sure this has happened, because he never said for sure. He said, this is what from outside looking in, from me going to therapy, I see this. Then the people talking about well, you should stay out of it. Then the kid come back and say, well, you know what I'm saying, blah, 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 and y'all feel like this way, and everybody feels some kind of way.
Yeah, and most of us want to be seen and heard. Mm-hmm. And, the boom of the internet after COVID, man, everybody has a platform. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard. And now it's being used against us. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
In the court of law.
But I'm trying to tell you, what have you kind of seen working with adolescents, like, that kind of troubles you for the future? Because when I look at the younger generations, I'm like, I think we screwed. I don't think there's any hope. I don't see anything of like positivity coming from them. Not saying that they're not smart, not saying that they can't amount to anything. Right. I'm just saying the circumstances in which our generation and the previous generations have put them in, it seems to have more in a corner in a dangerous situation for the future of society.
They put baby in the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I set boundaries, especially with parents. I let the parent know that this session is for the client. It's not for you, right? You don't get to come in and dictate what goes on with their therapy session, because it's for them. Mm-hmm. So once I get the parent to understand that at this point in time I have a little bit of pecking order, I've moved up some, but let's just respect the process. And once you get the parents on board and the kid to buy in, and they see the results, self-esteem goes high, self-confidence, and then they want to take over the world, man. And just watching it on a daily basis, it's amazing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So nothing you would say really troubling you see with them?
Like I said, it's mainly parents. Mm-hmm. But if you know how to communicate effectively with parents, because ultimately I don't want the kid to fully rely on me. Mm-hmm. I tell parents, your child is going to get up enough courage to come and want to talk to you. It's up to you to either say, I need to engage, because there's going to be some things that you need to take accountability for. Mm-hmm. Are you up for that challenge? Yeah. And most of them are. And yeah, we're seeing some good results.
And it's kind of interesting because we was talking about earlier when I handed you the bottle of water, just the different ways in which, like, your generation, my generation grew up drinking out of water hose, but now that's not necessarily the case, with the younger. So it's...
Yeah, they have so many options. And it's like, so many options in YouTube University, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know how to do something. I'm like, you guys have the power of the information at your fingertips, and you don't use it.
And Matt Cool TikTok.
Yeah.
Cool. Matt Cool out. TikTok. Yeah. And they don't. Once upon a time when we were kids, you and I were kids, we didn't have computers.
Man.
Not like that. I mean, computers existed, but households didn't have computers. You had to go get those encyclopedias.
Yeah.
And everything you wanted to learn, you had to go comb through the encyclopedia, look through the index, try to find it, read where you need, write it down, and you wrote it down so much that you had to remember it. Mm-hmm. Then you had to say it to your parents to regurgitate it, to understand what you're saying, to get comprehension. Now, every day I go through who won this and who won that and buy this, and I'm like, well, you have a phone in your hand.
Yeah.
The whole time. I say, why don't you Google it? Well, I Googled it, but I'm still gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Why are you asking me?
Yeah,
and
when
the
you
phone
got
is
the-
in your hand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But and then me, I'm like, that's kind of you're being lazy. But the thing is, these adults have made kids lazy. Like thing we talked about earlier about the dynamic of the world.
Oh yeah.
So man made this thing. We thought men were making things to make it better. Men made it so that more so that your kids feel like they don't need you, and the women feel like they can do it better.
Yeah.
Hey, until it's a bump in the night.
It's difficult, man. It's difficult.
Hey, until it's a boom, and then all the roles change back to normal.
Yeah.
When something has to be a physical attribute or something has to be a thing that causes brunt, that's when everything goes back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, I don't like guys who walk around and flex their muscles until I need something moved.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like guys being scary, doing X, Y, Z until I need somebody to check somebody at my job, or I need the police to come check you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just so interesting to like see the world actively change around us. Like, I feel like my generation is like the bridge between that old school traditional, this is how we do things, and like every black person was kind of the same. We all had the same experience, and now the younger generation, they have none of the experiences or the traditions that we used to go through, the cookout,
And none to work
all
with.
of that stuff.
And none to work with.
Yeah.
We shielded them.
Yeah.
We shielded them.
Do you think that was just because of our own experience that we wanted to give them better and subconsciously?
We wanted to give them better, and so once we did better and we could do better, we did. And then we don't allow them to play with the world. When I talk to parents, and I tell them, you gotta let your kid play with the world. How can you take a kid to Walmart and say, I need you to sit down? Well, we got all these colors, just like your set. We got all these colors, bells and whistles.
Yeah.
And you telling me not to play with something.
But but once again, you gotta be careful about what you play with. See, that's parents got to set boundaries for children as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want you to go to the store and play with something, but you can't break it. And that's the hard part between the kids and the parents. It's the what's going too far looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, these kids now is all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I experience this every day.
Yeah, that's how we raised them. You know, again, I say, have you gone to Walmart without shopping? Just play in the store, because you're disarming what the store looks like. They've actually got to play with it. Mm-hmm. And now you can say, man, remember we sat in here, we played with everything in here. This is what this is. This is cereal aisle. This is this. So it's a teaching moment, but it allows them to learn. Mm-hmm. Once they learn something, it no longer becomes a trigger because you're telling them no or sit down, shut up. Like, it's irritating.
Yeah. And I feel like we don't understand that, like, every time a baby is born, it's a new human being that has no experience on the earth that you're like putting information into.
If I hear this baby been here before, they have. Like, your genetics, the father's genetics, this is somebody. But how are we treating this new brilliant person? Mm-hmm. Really think about it. How are we treating new brilliant people?
Yeah.
Well, that's true. It's a new world, but there's nothing new under the sun.
True.
So that's the problem. We look at it like, well, everybody is not going to have an industrial job. True. Everybody going to have a computer job because that's the new way of the world. Mm-hmm. Here's the problem. Other communities know how to do both. And the thing is, ours particularly go what's easier.
Yeah.
And it's like, once again, like you said, once the bubble of the 2020 popped off and everything was phone and accessible and everything else. Yeah. It's like I want to be a content creator.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do no research.
Mm-hmm. But even the information, the amount of information we got, and you got the introduction of AI that's been coming in. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's real and fake anymore.
Man, right. Because who is that? Yeah. Drake using, Tupac and Snoop. And it's like, this stuff is changing the game. AI, scared of it, man. Even though you use it to really understand that we have millions of people who are geniuses, and you're using this app. You're asking the app questions. It's retaining that information, and it's going down the rabbit holes with you if you're using it properly. So we're giving one centralized. Oh, okay. It's just me.
No, you right. It's the Matrix.
Yeah, it's so. I every day I look at stuff, and even the way certain stories are told, it's told in one person's perspective. Even like history. Imagine how different history would be told if black people had control of history. It would be a completely different narrative. Yeah. So even that's interesting to me.
They didn't make a movie. It wasn't called The Help. Look,
but hypothetically, one group of people did have the means to write the history, and that's why you had to go back to reinforce that's not the other side of it. Yeah. And the problem is because the other side of it, it coexisted with the one side, but one side was trauma, one side wasn't. And so. Basically, the world altogether right now is all connected to trauma bonding.
It is the world,
this, and that's why we're so intrigued about the. I saw this thing that what's the guy Russell Simmons said. He was saying some real shit, and everybody was like, "Well, he's saying that because he's a part of the people that we're talking about." He said, "No." He said, "We sit and laugh and watch. We build them up, and we sit and laugh at the downfall of people." And then they say, well, he shouldn't have did that stuff. But you don't. But the thing is, everybody got two coins of life, the good and the bad. We exalt the good. Then once the bad come in, we wipe everything out the way and we get rid of. People are so dispensable.
Yeah. We got too many options. You said that earlier.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We got too many. Like for example, we're talking about dating. You know, hypothetically. Women feel like they have way more options than they ever had in life, but hypothetically, they really don't. Realistically, they really don't. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I've been hearing this thing now: date on your level, or date on your tax bracket. But if men make more money than you, period, we're not even on the same tax bracket. So let's throw that out the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know.
And it's like, well, so I'm paying for you to be and look to. I'm paying for you to look this way. And what happens is once you use me up,
where you going to go?
You're going to go to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
It's difficult for relationships to last 30, 40 years nowadays. And I've had conversations with, you know, people who have been married for that long. And I'm like, as I'm progressing in the profession and I'm sitting down, I'm like, well, why don't you all talk to us about this stuff like this? What it really takes for a real marriage. They're like, you're single. You're not in the mindset to fully understand what it takes.
And that's a lie, because the thing is, that goes back to what you said about raising kids. It's a whole new being. You know what I'm saying? So if you're teaching a whole new being how to be in this world, you're giving them direction and guidance. The problem with older people, just like with me and Lonnie, if I was an older guy who did not want to give Lonnie the game, like we all give people the game of when you win.
Right.
I give Lonnie the game of when you lose, because you're gonna lose. Yeah. Everybody have a winning season and a losing season. Yeah. It's a very, very small few people who understands that what it takes to win. But a lot of people, smaller group of people, know what it looks like to lose and to kind of bounce back. I ain't saying when you lose, you're going to stay there. You're going to have to have new tools with you. Yeah. It's like getting punched. You're going to fall back down, then you got to come back up and straighten yourself back up. But I'm showing you and teaching you how to gather yourself, because you're going to get punched.
Yeah. But, it's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah. You know, I ask people all the time, you know, like, what's the lifespan in America for men? And it's roughly in our 70s.
Like 72 or something.
Yeah, like 72. So when you're talking to a teenager or you're talking to somebody who's in their 20s and 30s, it's like, if you only have 30-some years left on this earth, and you never make a decision, a change to do anything in life, are you okay with where you're at right now? Never making a change, are you okay? No, I'm not. So what are we going to change?
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about? Well, I don't know what I want to change. Then you don't want to change. So when you being able to kind of put that pressure upon people allows people to start forward thinking. Most of us live in the moment instead of saying, well, what is 10 years or really what 20 years look down the line? Because we just think that, I remember, one day I went from being 21 to now, what's good, OG? Like, man, I'm not that old. Like, man, like, what, you know what I'm saying?
But we are.
I know, until you look in the mirror and like, I'm old, like.
And we have this conversation every week.
Man.
I said, once upon a time, I was a 21-year-old guy. I drove a Cutlass. I had a fade. Had waves.
Man,
I was getting it. I was getting it. But now, but the thing is, and not having older people around me to actually guide me and hold my hand through it and show me.
Yeah.
I never knew what this was gonna look like.
Yeah.
And I didn't prepare for this.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's the problem in our community about preparing.
Yeah.
For next.
Do you think it's because we never?
No,
Do you think it's we never really kind of get the time to prepare, or we don't the circumstances
back
too?
Back to what he said about kids. The older us are not teaching the younger of us because the older of us envy. Like I say, the time is wasted on the youth.
Mm-hmm.
The older of us are envious of the younger us. Just like I told you before, when you go around an old woman and she see a young woman with a nice body, nice shape, and she flaunting around, some old women gonna be like, "Oh, she doing too much. She need to sit down. She need to act like a lady." Most of the old women gonna be like this. Girl, if I had that body, I'd be doing the same thing you doing. It's something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you got a husband, or had a husband, married 50 years, grandkids, great grandkids, lineage, and everything else. She not gonna have that.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
But she thinking what you saying is you don't want this life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But her life is gonna be rough.
So true.
Yeah.
Man, these relationships, like I said, it's exhausting. And it's really foundational when it comes to communication. We do not know how to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We have normalized yelling, screaming, arguing, cussing, and fussing at each other as the normal. And that's not what we're doing. This is what strength is, us having this healthy conversation.
Yeah.
But they tell you to put these podcasts, they need to stop selling this.
Selling the mics, they took.
But I mean, again, if we look at people's perspectives, it again is more delusion upon other delusions that our people already have. So I get why they're saying we need to get rid of the podcast, but I mean, you can't. Everybody has their
because
point of view.
because they said that everybody make money. It's just you ain't got no ambition if you make only 40,000. But damn, only 65% of the people in the U.S. make. But 165.
Yeah.
I'll try to do
Yeah. Do the math. You know what I'm saying? Square root. You know what I'm saying?
So majority of the people are on this end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're acting like it's so many people on this end.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so in my generation, I've been one of the lucky ones that have made it this far, almost 35, no kids, you know what I'm saying? And I've been able to mature and I feel like get my mind together for the responsibility of kids. Whereas some of my peers, they kind of just put themselves in a situation and now they got to like deal with it, now.
Accountability.
So it's like, buzzword. So now I'm kind of like, it's in my mind now is I feel like I'm ready to take the step of the kid to have a kid soon, not like tomorrow or anything, but just like and understand the responsibility it takes to. It's just like a 2.0 version of me. That's like how I kind of look at it.
But when I love when like you say that, but don't skip the first step.
What's that?
Being someone's husband.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, wait.
Yeah,
Reverse all of
you
that.
caught him. You good?
Please.
No, because the problem
We
is
believed in
the
that.
problem
Yeah.
is that's what most people say.
Yeah.
And especially
Yeah.
most us men, and particularly us black men. That's the first thing we say.
Yeah.
And it's like this, because we don't even picture ourselves being committed to a woman.
Do you think it's because of the amount of responsibility it takes to be a husband that we shy away and we think that having a kid is easier?
Unfortunately, it's worse having a kid without a wife.
I agree with you.
Like this, it's worse. No, his divorce got to. Hey, it's worse. It's worse because now someone has total leverage. And the thing is, that's why I be trying to tell y'all that. But unfortunately, so many people think they're special snowflakes.
Yeah.
That they won't hear it. And it's like this, oh, that won't happen to me because I got one dude, he got it. He's just like Baby Boy. That's why I love the movie Baby Boy. When Tyrese was talking to Vin Raines, talking to Melvin, man, both my baby mamas cool. I'm straight. Sitting here at mama's house with his arm folded on the sofa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, until it ain't.
Until it ain't.
Yeah. I definitely want to stress that we fully believe in the marriage over here first. Let me say that. Marriage first, not kid. Then we going to work it out and figure it out.
And the thing is, when you don't do it like that, it's so much accountability because you got to come back and rewrite those wrongs. And we be thinking everything good. We think everything is, God made everything perfect. We talked about that last week, man. Yeah. Hey, he called me. He was like, bro, what you think about this? And I was like, what you mean? He was like, nah, what you really think? He said, man, take off your... And I said, he was like this. He said, I was waiting for you to say it. I just was trying to see where you're going to say it. And I was like, yeah. But the thing is, we just don't get it.
Yeah, we're out of order, man.
We're out of order. And that's why our community is the way it is. That's why we sitting here laughing now about Drake and Kendrick. We sitting here like, then somebody's house gets shot up. Yeah. Somebody gets shot. Oh, because he got enemies. Like, once again, we talked before we got on camera, we talked about beefs. Yeah. Like, I was talking to somebody this morning, talking to bro this morning. I said, y'all know Ice Cube wrote the best, I call it the best beef diss track ever. You know how old he was when he made that song?
He was like in his 20s, early 20s.
22 years old. Yeah. Like when BDP and them, they was dissing each other. They was 21 years old. They was out of poverty. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When Pac was dissing this dude, he was 24, 25 years old, and he died months later. You know what I'm saying? Even with the Nas and Jay-Z, y'all realize something. Nas was like 30 years old, but he had been rapping for 10 years, and he wasn't agging on the beef. Right. He just had to get a nigga off him. You know what I'm saying?
I think that'd be my problem too. A lot of times, like, we don't learn from like history.
Yeah.
As we actively lived it. Like, we lived this and then repeated it in the same life cycle.
And then we act like it's not gonna happen again, man. Like, so you want to be the special snowflake again? Okay, go ahead.
Like this. Okay, so this dude's store getting vandalized.
Yeah.
Then now I want to listen to his music no more. So now you messing, now you taking money out of his pocket, money out of his children's pocket, because now these 30 and 40 or 50-year-old men are beefing with each other, and they all work for the same cracker.
White man pulling the strings.
They all work for the same cracker. I'm gonna say that they all work for the same cracker. The same cracker, the same crackers group,
same group.
Work telling all y'all what to do. Putting all your albums out.
Yep. Can we talk about the responsibilities of being a husband? Since both of y'all have been there, I kind of want to. This segment really for me. Hey, so man, if y'all can get some game from it, cool.
Hey, can we talk about last?
Bruh, it's.
Hey man, let me tell you something.
When I think about it, the responsibility of being a husband, so I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about right now. Entrepreneur. Always kind of been the one to kind of gather people and kind of try to lead and teach people the game. And as a community, we come up together, right? Gotcha. Then girlfriends, yada, yada, yada. So I've always been in this leadership type position. And it's always some shit going wrong. Right. And no matter what you do, some shit gonna go wrong. When I think about being a husband, I'm like, it just, to me, it seems like this top of the mountain thing. It feels like this. God damn, you got to deal with all of this, and then I see brothers dying younger. They dying younger. The stress. They not able to happiness and all that stuff. It's just like
the guys are dying younger because, unfortunately, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's the food. See, truth of the matter is
food
this.
is definitely killing us for sure.
Truth of the matter is this. In your generation and the younger generation, time is sped up. Even though time is still the same thing as it was before, your time is sped up. Everybody wants to be a millionaire at 20, but hypothetically, they just say millionaires weren't actually became millionaires until their 50s.
45, yeah, it's like 45 and up.
Yeah. So, but y'all wanted it at 30. So
rushing the process.
So that's the life you live, and also the women that's the new age woman want everything at 30. Here's the crazy thing. That's why I say it's always good to build with someone, because you meet somebody at 19 and 20, and y'all both don't have nothing. It's easier to be on the same page, but that page come from how they was raised and how you were raised, not their own personal beliefs. Because this parent, poor, and when they send you out into the world, you get sent out into the world on a campaign to go forward. A lot of us, unfortunately, like the Walmart, we get sent out to the world and we want to go play with everything. So what happens is you're going to break something. And not in the physical form, in the emotional, mental form. And the thing that you break is going to be that your spirit and that person. And what happens is, and now you're 30 and you're trying to figure it out. Being a husband isn't that hard.
It's not.
But you have to have a wife who wants to be the helpmate. And once again, when I go back to 100, she has to want to be your helpmate. She has to, not saying I'm going 50-50 with you. I'm pouring into this relationship too, and I ain't come to the relationship just because I look good, my ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the problem is that's what it ain't yours, because the women our age act worse than the women your age. You know what I'm saying? So
they've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, but his thing, the crazy thing is, remember when we was 20, they didn't act like that. They didn't start acting like that until they got into their late 30s and 40s. When they was in their 20s, all they wanted to be wives. But what happened was they ended up meeting the wrong niggas, and they ended up going to college, and I don't need a dude because now I can pay my own bills, and I really don't need nobody here, and I can go get a handyman to do whatever case may be, so I don't have a man around the house, whatever case. But it's not really that hard. It's hard because it's hard when you don't have someone who's on your page and who doesn't understand about the team. The same thing we put up yesterday on the Instagram. Is it white women or black women? It's not either. It's who's all about the betterment of the team. Team Smith. It ain't Team Smith and somebody. It's Team Smith. Who, like right now, we watching NBA basketball. You watching the playoffs right now?
Oh yeah.
Now, Ant-Man, they said they like, oh my gosh, she's like Michael Jordan in '89. You know, JT sent me some other day talking about, oh, Jordan didn't do nothing without Pippen. No, Jordan only played 3. He only played 2 full seasons without Pippen before Pippen came. Not the 6, talking about LeBron. He played 2 full seasons. He was hurt 1 year. I'm saying that to say this. When you on your journey of trying to build Michael Jordan great, see how Michael Jordan was doing everything for 2 years until he had to go get some help. And once he got the help, it took 2 or 3 more years to kind of get over the hump. And once they got the rolling, it was chip. Then when one of them quit, it wasn't no chip. Then we came back, chip. That's what teammates are. You gotta get somebody who understand, hey, it's okay to be the B. It's okay to be Steve Kerr. It's okay to be B.J. Armstrong.
I think everybody thinks they're MJ in the story.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem.
And that's a delusion. That's the whole delusional part. Like, bro, you're not Jordan, right? Like,
you don't have the Jordan skill. Right? Then some people say, well.
But it's okay to not have the Jordan skill.
Yes.
Because you have another valuable skill.
Right. Just be you, actually. Like.
and here's the crazy thing. Then what's going to happen is someone's going to say, well, men got to be Jordan skill because men got to make the most. No, that's not true. because it's gonna be a Shaq and a Kobe. It's gonna be somebody gonna be making just as much as I'm making, or scoring just as much as I'm scoring. And in the fourth quarter, when they hack a Shaq and they take me out, Kobe had to take over. But I got you there for 3 quarters. That's like if you meet a woman, quote unquote, making $200,000 a year. I mean, it's a 0.6 chance of that, but hey, I digress. But to that point, you have to understand, and the things we're telling you is things that men at 45, when you got married at 20-something, didn't tell you.
Yeah.
See, they didn't tell us this. They were just like, oh, she good. She ain't got no bodies. She only had sex once or twice, so she probably a virgin. Get her. You know what I'm saying? But get her, and we thinking, okay, that means I'm gonna get her and I can teach her how to be my woman. They don't work that way, because she has to be taught from when she leave her mama house how to be a woman that a man needs. Like,
And I think it's interesting that you even say that, because whereas I've heard all you got to do, like, you know, the men like the happy life, happy wife, those kind of older men, I've heard them kind of preaching that. But then on the reverse side, I see the women telling the older women telling the younger women, girl, I wouldn't do that. And what not to do. So it's like we both getting this information incorrect.
Because here's the thing: the older women are really, really they really
Teaching now.
When, perfect example, when I become your help.
Elba.
Damn, we damn near 6 to 7. Anyway, you've never once heard me, even though I've cut your hair in my 20s, and I'll cut your hair, tell you. You get a girlfriend, somebody got a wife in there, but your wife ain't doing right, man. Believe her. I've never said that. But if you ever get around women, especially particularly older women, and honey, baby girl doing some stuff, I won't put up with that. I leave him. We don't tell our friends to leave their wife.
Yeah.
But they'll tell you leave their husband, because shit, he still got to pay for you. If he paying for everything now. If you leave, you still got to pay for it.
Yeah. Man.
So all the information is wrong because we're not teaching unity.
Yeah.
And people,
we're teaching individualism.
And all of a sudden, then when you're not getting taught the right thing, and men are not getting taught the right thing, and women are not getting taught the right thing, that's when we trauma bond.
Yeah, we clash.
Trauma bond. We like, oh, well, you was hurt by your daddy, I was hurt by my daddy. You making money now, and I'm making money now. We gonna be straight.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not a good foundation. That's just Yeah, man. You know, the successful relationship is built off structure. As a man, you have to have structure in your life. I teach all the young men, like, if you don't have your schedule in your phone every hour on the hour,
and sticking to it too. The discipline to stick to it too. That's another thing. You got a structure, but the discipline too. I ain't mean to cut you off.
But you're absolutely right. Because I'm like, well, some of my clients have anxiety, and I'm like, you do know I'm showing you how to get rid of your anxiety. I'm like, well, what do you mean?
With structure.
Well, let's see. If I need to walk outside the door, right? You know, from this, I know how to go from here to the front door and leave a body here, because I know the steps. If you see the steps in front of you, how can you have anxiety? So I show them to see every single step that's in front of them. Get rid of anxiety.
And see it through.
Yeah. But again, having that structure. But what man gave us our structure? I remember thinking about it like, man, living in Champaign, Illinois, man, I was raised by the old men of the block. And I'm like, they didn't teach me nothing about what I know now. But that's what helps me, you know,
be able to teach it.
Because now I know both sides of it. Because I always tell everybody, if God would have gave me this talent and gift when I was in my 20s, man, it would have been a problem.
But
listen.
Hey, no, because I tell him that all the time. I said, but the problem was, God did give it to me. And let me tell you what I did. Because, like, even when we be around my cousin, everything I say now, I've been saying it for 20. Everybody used to say I was damn stupid. Oh, you stupid. You don't make no sense. Or you blah, blah. Or you blah, blah. You whatever case may be. my mom indirectly taught me structure. Because it was like, you better do this, or because if you don't have structure, it's a consequence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the problem was, my mom taught me this out of a consequence. And because she had to. It was nobody else there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now I understood what structure meant. That's why I get up at a certain time. I eat at a certain time. I do everything I do at a certain time. I go to sleep at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
So, perfect example, if I was out here, one of the dudes out here dating like a motherfucker, they couldn't date me. They had to get my program or move around.
Pretty much, yeah.
But the problem is, for a weak brother, them lonely nights will make him conform or make him dismantle his structure around someone else.
Yeah.
But for most strong brothers ain't getting a whole bunch of tail.
No, they
Like this.
they not.
Hey, and when he get it, he gonna be the girl back in. But most strong brothers ain't getting a lot of tail because he has so much structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, women are saying, I understand your structure. I'm going to fit in here. They're not doing that anymore. They're saying, look, I'm important. So, and these so-called TV therapists be like this, she's important. So you need to put your structure and make her the center of your structure. And you build with her and you do this. And you, then when you do all of this and when she's straight, then you go back to your structure. Then y'all get married. And you saying like this, wait a minute. I'm creating a problem in my home.
A whole nother delusion.
I'm creating something wrong. Then the thing is, now she know that your structure is her. Then you have kids. Then as a man, your structure become her and the kids. But you can't reach your full potential where you trying to where God wants you to go. Because He wants you first.
Yeah.
And first don't mean with the money.
Decisions. Yeah, the first to make those decisions, the first to be punished, like it's a lot of responsibility.
And if you don't stand your ground, you're gonna be punished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So what's some things that you would say, like, to a young brother about to get married, maybe whatever age it may be, and both of y'all, like, just to look forward to, or how you should go about it? I know we talked about structure, foundation, discipline, but is there any other things y'all would say to?
I would say have a servant's mindset, right? If you're constantly serving each other, how can you go wrong? I'm asking you, how's your day? What can I do to make your day better? You know what I'm saying? What put a smile on your face? Just being a servant to that person, that's pouring into him. That's easy. Costs you nothing.
But hell, listen, because you don't have to ask her every day how to make her day better.
Yeah.
You
can know her. You should know.
Hey, if y'all together and y'all married, if you get off work at 5 o'clock, but she get off work at 7, you know what I'm saying? Why are you calling her at 5:30 to what we eat? You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, if y'all schedule is just like that, a part of that 100%, that's something that you can be able to do. But to your point, she gotta have something to offset that.
Yeah.
Like this, hey, I may got you. I know you cooking dinner, but here's the thing though, I done made sure we got food for you to cook.
Yeah.
See, to your point, the serving each other, and now y'all coming together. Now y'all can work together.
Yeah. The one thing that's not obvious is in relationships, most of us aren't having these conversations. Most of us aren't sitting down and saying, we need to have some real heart to heart, right? If it is, sex is bad, all right? Let's say the sex is bad. How do you have a conversation about that respectfully?
You can't make sex better like Gatorade, baby.
Actually, you can. You gotta remember, sex is something that's teachable.
Yeah, but
sex is teachable.
Yeah, it is. It's like this, but it's like it got. That goes back to the beginning of what we said before, right? Say if this person got 100 bodies, and this person got 20 bodies, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because you're trying to find your perfect sexual partner in one person, which is not going to happen, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So to your point, it is teachable, but it takes the other person who wants to learn it.
And that's the problem that we have.
again, having conversation about sex is still so taboo, and it's like, why are we, not being open and honest? A lot of our relationships could have been saved had we had some real heart-to-heart, open conversation.
Communication.
But some people be lying.
I get it.
Do you think it's out of fear though? Is it out of like
a lot of it is fear, and it's a lot
It
of
is.
trauma because, remember I was saying earlier, a lot of us, our reality is reverse of where it has been, where it's supposed to be at. Most women, their trauma puts them in masculine. Men's trauma put us in feminine.
Sure does.
And when we don't talk about that enough to really look at, this is masculine, and if we're yelling, arguing, and screaming at each other and trying to kill and shoot each other, that's feminine. Like, it's just cut and dry. There's the left side, right side. Like, that's how I get my clients to be like, how are you so good with your clients? Because I take them, we're going to go all the way back to when communication was proper so that you can be respectful and that people can hear you, understand you. And if they can't, guess what? We got to set boundaries now because, that person is not going to respect you the way that you want them to respect you. And we have to start taking inventory like that. I don't care if it's my friends. I don't care if it's my family. It's the same way. If you're not going to have that level of respect for me, I can't be around you. That's going to take a lot of strength from people to say, I'm going to take and reclaim back my time. But it's necessary.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's funny because we just talked about that. I said these dudes acting like girls.
Yeah.
Like you can tell.
Y'all some hoes.
like you can tell, like with all the stuff they're doing, that's female talk. That's why females are so engulfed in it. You know what I mean? And it's like, and then some people gonna say, well, we're just trying to show the bigger one, who's the biggest, who the king of the game or whatever case may be. But it's like all y'all look goofy at the end.
Yeah.
I
Because
believe it,
naturally our body selects who, it knows automatically when you walk into the room, right, that's the big dog right there. Because there's always a power dynamic. As long as there's multiple people, there's always going to be a power dynamic.
Yeah, and then you're going to have everybody going to be powerful in that. It can be three guys to come together and be powerful in their own right in different spaces. And that's the thing about respecting each other, is respecting the conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And respecting their perspectives.
Yeah, yeah. And this is just a personal thing. When you're talking about the sex, even me right now, me and my relationship, we're currently going through this awkward point of like kind of getting to know each other because we didn't put that time in the beginning. So it's like, it's an uncomfortable conversation, but we are having it. So when you said it, it was like, yeah, damn, you're right. Like, it's a hard thing to do, but it's necessary to do for the success of the relationship.
And that's why when everybody say, well, a man know he won't as soon as he meets you. Yeah, he know he want to fuck.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah, we got to see all the other stuff before we.
But the problem with us is, like, I always got a motto: fuck, let's get that shot away first. Let's get that awkward shot away.
I have heard that before. Yeah.
And now we don't get that out of the way. Okay, so did you like the experience? Cool. Let's build off of it. But the problem is, most guys will build off of it. Even the sex be great, but she don't understand your structure. But some guys still engage in it. And that would mess the relationship up.
Yeah, I can't do that. I tell women up front, I am not gonna waste your time.
I'm not gonna waste your time.
I teach people this every single day. It's either you know this and we can have this conversation, we can sit down and put everything on the table and talk freely. You know what I'm saying? If we can't have these conversations, I'm not gonna waste your time. That's too much brain power for me to get in to try to figure out the code to unlock what I want.
And that's why you can't never tell nobody your likes and your dislikes. Like me personally, I never tell them what I like and what I don't like. You know why? Because I don't want you doing something because I like it. I want you to do stuff because you like it. Because when you're doing it because I like it, that means you're forcing into doing it because what happens. And as soon as that happens, the argument comes up, and the first thing they say is what? I do this because you like this.
Yeah.
Hey, and the thing is, you see, and that's how I don't play psychology with people. I just want to see them in their natural self.
That's it.
And especially in being a man with structure. I want to see you in your natural self. Yeah. If I'm up every morning at 6:30 and you dragging, I know what's going to happen when you want to spend the night.
Yeah, when it's time to get up.
You're going to want to drag me.
Bro, I don't even take the first year of a relationship serious. It's not even a serious thing. Because at that point, we both putting on for each other. We not fully being who we are. We ain't set in our ways yet. We ain't got comfortable enough to really show our personality. But that second year, now it start to show.
When y'all meet each other, shit.
Stop playing games.
Stop playing. Hey, be like this. I don't got to be here.
Yeah.
Like this. See, because guys, what happens is with a lot of us is we meet a woman, she's so beautiful, we got to have her.
Yeah. We put on.
And we like this. Oh, she want to go here. She want to be entertained. She want to be dated. She want to be winding down. She want to come over every weekend. She want to do this. And what happens is you start doing all this stuff, and little by little, your structure and who you are, you've now become another person. And after that year and a half, 2 years, you don't like the person in the mirror that you see.
Exactly.
And then you become resentful to her. Or, be resentful to her. And some women gonna say, well, women do that too. Why is she doing that? Because he got some money. He got his own shit. You doing that shit because she got a big ass and she look good.
Right.
So it's kind
For
of
the wrong reasons.
So it's all for the wrong reasons.
All for the wrong reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dating is hard, man. Especially as a therapist, as a counselor, man, it is difficult.
Yeah, because your ass, because you be smart as hell, you sitting like this. Hey, and
you can see it all.
In the first conversation, you be like this. This ain't gonna
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I have it all the time. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste your time.
Yeah. But then I even see. I'm sorry. You got to keep that thought. But what I see is like women will try to, when met with rejection, they will fight against the rejection as opposed to accepting it. Of like, he knows himself and what he needs. It's a knock on them of like, oh, I'm not good enough, so let me prove it if they deem the man worthy.
Or you just gay.
or that. You know what I'm saying? It was just, like, for sure. We definitely have seen so many cases of that. So I find that interesting. Of like, you as yourself can be fully self-aware, and you can be able to communicate, but somebody will fight you on you telling them, I just don't think this gonna work for us. I just ain't really into this.
I've had female friends that I've talked to, stopped talking for years, and then somehow we reconnect, and they'll go, some of the things, the advice you gave me, I actually used it, and my life got better. And I'm like, we spent months. I've spent months fighting with you.
Hey.
And then you didn't do it, but then you did. And I know you still ain't giving me credit for it, but it's okay.
Hey, let me tell you something. I got like a 94% ratio. They're gonna come back and say I was right, like this, and I'll be like this. So, was I?
Yeah.
I'm like this.
Now,
So the Joe Blow that was way better than me.
yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm childish enough. Can I trade that in for a dick suck real quick? Since I was right, do I give me credit?
Is there a double down button on this?
Yeah, but yeah,
And be like this.
I feel like you owe me
Like
something. No, just kidding.
Still no ring, huh?
Yo, you ain't got one. Listen, I do the choosing.
Because I asked nobody.
Yeah.
Right? It's not these double standards.
I didn't ask nobody, and then nobody asked you.
Right.
Yeah.
These double standards, most people can't pick them out and see when they're a double standard, and they're not going to align. That's why they're a double standard.
But it's not,
I can't
not
help
supposed
it.
to.
Right,
Yeah.
I can't help this.
But the crazy thing is, that's not even a double standard, because here's the thing. You want to brag about how much money you got, want to brag about all the shit you can do, and how, quote unquote, you're masculine. So why you didn't propose to a dude?
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah, shorty.
Hey.
Why you ain't choose up?
Listen, hey, like this.
Those videos, oh man, I feel bad for the guys.
Hey.
Man, they be too cringy for me. I be like,
Why? Why y'all feel bad?
They feel because the women feel comfortable.
okay, well, I see it two ways though. It does make me cringy, but the other side of me, this is the part of me that's like, the nigga was so dope
She's like
that she went against society. Like she went against normal, like matriarch, like normal, like the nature of things to get that. That's how I'll be like. So he was just that dope of a nigga, I guess.
But I'm the opposite. Again, I have to. So like, if this was to come to me and I'm sitting in my office, you got to realize as a therapist, I had to think of multiple realities while we're sitting in here listening to But you gotta think about it from the opposite side. Like, is this man that weak that she is able to get away with this?
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, for me, that's not gonna rock for me, right? I tell most
Yeah, I
women,
can't
I'm
do
like,
that.
listen,
Get up.
if you wanna lead, I'm telling you, I'll give it to you. I know that I'm supposed to lead. I'll give it to you. Just don't ask me to pick it back up.
That's right.
Because you're asking me to forego that to fit your agenda. If you want me to fit it, and that's if I decide to do that. I'm not going to pick it up. You can't get mad because I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing. We don't have these real conversations again. If we had these real conversations, we wouldn't be spending years. I'm not going to knock you for the year, but it takes 6 months of actually intentional dating and getting to know somebody. Forget all the expensive meals. Forget all the trips. Because what are you going to do once you get married? If you get to that point, that's when that stuff is supposed to come out. Doc?
You say that, Doc. Here's the thing, though. The problem is the only reason they're spending time with you is because you're doing all of that stuff.
I get it.
And here's the problem. And when you stop doing that, the first thing they say is, don't introduce them to a lifestyle that you can't maintain. And that's why most guys come sit in your office and cry in the car and come sit in my damn chair because they can't maintain it. So
it's a lot of pressure.
And that's why I say when you start off, it's not about the dates. So, it's about the connection and getting to know. I really feel
they don't care.
I'm gonna go here, and this is where I feel. I feel if I sit down with just two individuals from two different parts of life, I really believe I can sit down with them and over time build an actual relationship. It doesn't take a lot.
No, it doesn't take a lot. But here's the thing, though. If she got an Instagram and a Facebook, she gonna tell you that y'all are not dating, and you know this.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, I know psychologically.
I don't look for those type of women.
That's the point I'm trying to make is in his thing. You don't actually know those type of women because you ever meet the one of them, they're just so nice.
Oh yeah.
Hey, until you get to talking. Like this, they don't have none. They show none of that stuff until you start having those conversations. And soon they start having a conversation, you be like this. Wait a minute, she tripping like Sexy Red.
Bow.
Man, yeah.
But you're right. You're right though. But the crazy thing is, that's how the world used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, and we want that world again. So, and unfortunately, you got to comb through to see if
But
that
it's
world.
us.
But